major issues. That doesn't mean that there can't be, but if that's in the forefront of your mind, you're typically not one that is a high risk. But what you need to understand is you need to stay ahead of schedule of the pain by taking the pain meds regularly. A lot of times, tramadol is a pain med of choice, which is like every 4 to 6 hours, and Norco is another one every 4 hours or so. So you're going to want to kind of stagger those and make sure you stay on schedule to allow yourself to continue to do the activity. Because when pain is out of control, that's when we tend to sit and become stagnant, and that's the worst thing we can do for a total knee replacement is to sit 4, 5, 6 hours, only exercise or get up every 3 or 4 hours. We want to be moving all the time. So pain management is a huge one. And then elevation and ice. Ice, a lot of times people will have a cryo cuff. If you don't, you can still ice semi-regularly. 6, 7 times a day, 20 minutes at a time, and then especially early on.
Yeah, so a cryo cuff for people that either, because that's foreign language to somebody who's never been through this, is basically, imagine, the way I would describe it is imagine a knee brace that you wrap around your knee, and it's attached to a hose that's got ice water in it, and it just gives you constant cold, a good pressure and cold around the whole knee. That would be about right?
Yeah. I think it holds it like at a 42, 43 degree temperature so that you can actually keep ice on there regularly, or that cold on there regularly. So it's not so cold that it has damage, that has the potential to damage the tissue. Because if you keep ice, like an actual ice pack on it for too long, you can actually have some damage to tissue.
Yeah.
And so it keeps it at a slightly warmer temperature that still has that physiological response that you want from an ice, but doesn't create that potential for tissue damage. So ice is huge, and then elevation. And then the one thing that I always say about elevation is elevating above the heart.
People will usually say I'm elevating, and when they say show me, they'll sit down and they'll act like they're in a recliner and they have their legs up. That's not elevating.
Yeah. So we need to get it above the heart because that'll allow actually gravity to take it back to our trunk. Okay. And that's how we're going to get that fluid out of there. So, and edema, remember, is a lot of reasons why early on we can't get the range of motion we want, and there's more pressure on the joint, which is actually going to create a lot more pain. So if you can get the edema down quickly by elevating, you're going to end up doing much better in terms of pain management. So I think that's a big thing that first week. I always kind of cringe when people come in and they say, well, I'm only icing this much and I'm elevating maybe once a day, twice a day, but it's not about the heart. I'm in so much pain and I'm taking my pain meds, kind of irregularly. Doing a lot of things wrong. So there's a lot of ways to kind of set yourself up for success with this by just kind of laying things out appropriately.
Yeah, I agree. Just managing your pain in the beginning and working on making sure you're moving enough and getting up and moving around every hour,
Yeah, good point too. Every hour, even if you're just standing up and weight shifting back and forth. Again, another thing that I tell people all the time is, during your waking hours, that doesn't mean that if you catch a quick cat nap here or there and you're asleep on the couch for 2 hours, no big deal. But during your waking hours of the day, you should be getting up every hour, even if you're just kind of weight shifting back and forth in a standing position. So that's some place that's a way that you can kind of just get that knee moving. Okay.
Yeah.
So actually, we covered quite a bit fairly quickly here. The other thing that I think is important to understand too is really then, what expectations are for therapy, like lengthwise, right?
Yeah.
So if with the system we're in right now, our schedulers will actually plug total knee replacements in 3 times a week right away and just plug those in. Depending on how the patient's doing, I usually pull 1 or 2 visits off fairly quickly because most individuals, if they're hitting kind of their range of motion targets, can do a lot of the stuff on their own. If their pain is manageable, they can do a lot of the stuff on their own. So I try to get people to 2 times a week as quickly as possible, then bump them down to 1 time a week as their pain levels start to get more manageable. And that's kind of what you do too, Will, right?
Yeah, them coming in to see us for 45 minutes to an hour to 30 minutes or whatever isn't going to be the thing that fixes them throughout however many, a week, right? It's going to be them doing the stuff at home and just being active and doing the stuff that's going to really, get them to the success that they need.
Yeah, great point. It's like sometimes we have people who come in and say, okay, what are you going to do for me? And that's not really what the attitude is with a knee replacement or therapy in general. It's okay, what can you do for yourself?
Yeah.
It's not the 30, 45, 60 minutes that you're in the clinic 2 to 3 times a week. It's really the 23 and a half hours that you're at home. What are you doing on a regular basis? That's why you should be getting up, moving, stretching every 3 or 4 hours, and finding a consistency level. I think that's the other thing that's probably a good point to make, is that the patients that I find that get done and discharged between 5 and 6 weeks are usually the patients that are doing things on a fairly regular basis. They may not be, pushing themselves to the extreme each and every time they go through their exercise program, but they're doing them 2, 3, 4, 5 times a day. So they're starting to develop a tolerance. The patients that tend to last in the clinic a little longer, maybe 6 to 8 weeks, are typically the patients that don't want to do the exercises and end up just trying to kill themselves for that 1 or 2 stretches that they do all day long, and then they do nothing in between.
Yeah.
And so it kind of develops this kind of boomer bust. We do everything, and then we hurt for 3 or 4 hours, and we really don't look forward to doing the exercises, and then we finally decide to do them again. So we push really hard because we know we didn't do a lot of them, and then you kind of cycle through that, so you don't actually develop any tolerance. So you're just kind of creating a lot of pain, then you have to rest, create a lot of pain, and then you have to rest. So you have to find some level of consistency, even if you're not pushing yourself to the brink or that to where you're having a lot of pain. You got to find some level of consistency there so that you can build on that.
Yeah, I agree with that. You got anything else?
I think the other thing, just in terms of discharging, usually, sometimes people kind of are. Sometimes people are really eager to get out the door almost too quick, and then we have usually patients who are almost leery of kind of being done with therapy.
Yeah, they're afraid. Yeah.
I would say that as long as you're reaching your range of motion goals, and then you consistently try to do your stretches and range your knee out 1 to 2 times a day, maybe just very gently after being discharged, people do fairly well. I think the other thing is that you're going to, most people don't feel whole with a total knee replacement until 6 to 9 months. So you're not going to be discharged from therapy feeling 100%. It's just not going to happen. There's still going to be swelling in the knee. There's still going to be some range of motion issues, some stiffness, and you're still going to have some ups and downs in terms of good and bad days. But, by 6 to 9 months, you should all of a sudden look down at your knee, and it should probably not look quite as swollen and kind of finally look like the other knee. And at that point, you should probably look at yourself and go, I haven't had any issues in 3 or 4 days or 3 or 4 weeks, And so, it's just one of those things that it is a process, and even when you are discharged from therapy, you still have work to do typically.
Yeah.
So, yeah. But I don't know. That's about what really, those are kind of all the information we try to give on that first and second session, so that people kind of have the knowledge to put their best foot forward. So
their best new foot forward.
Hey. Wait, did they get a new foot too?
The knee bones connect to the ankle bones. So kind of.
What else is new, man?
Not a whole lot, but we did watch. I forgot to tell you, we watched Ocean's 8.
Pretty good.
I kind of had that same hesitation going into it. It was really good. It didn't.
What hesitation?
The hesitation of just like, they're just going to do like basically kind of a remake-y thing idea.
Just with female roles.
Right. It's basically they're doing Ghostbusters, which inherently I have
I
no.
like Ghostbusters.
The new one.
Yeah, I liked it. Although I did think that the best person in it was Chris Hemsworth and Kate McKinney.
Yeah. Because they weren't trying to. I don't know. But I thought they were going to do that, and they didn't do that.
Yeah.
It was, a little bit of a spoiler here. What is her name? I cannot remember the woman who's Sandra Bullock is actually Danny Ocean's sister.
Okay.
And then that
I can see the resemblance.
Yeah, right. But it's there is kind of a little plot twist like they always have at the end of all of those.
Sure.
This one was by far the most believable. It didn't come out it did not come out of like left field. Like, you know, like a lot of times it's just like, I don't know. It seems like you're showing me something else, and then just like, yeah. This one they purposely didn't show something or someone, so it was very, when they showed you the twist, like, oh, okay, so that's what that person was doing when I didn't see them, as opposed to like first or second ones where it's like, you're like, I'm trying to remember, like, yeah, like in the second one or the first one, they were recording the acrobat guy like doing all that little like flips and stuff, I guess, and whatever in the fake vault or something to that effect, right? But that really never happened. Yeah, I can't remember, but it was like that. It was something that really never ever happened and never should have happened, or I don't remember. It was, but it wasn't like that.
Cool. So it wasn't just a total money grab. Like I always look at.
It was a money grab. It's a money grab because it's, you know, they're just using an already established property and just saying, here's a familiar thing with a little bit of a twist.
So was it good enough to stand on its own? Like if it didn't have Ocean's 8 on it, would it have been good? Like if that wasn't the title, would it have been good to?
Yeah, because because it was still it's still basically a heist movie. Yeah. In which,
clever heist movie.
Yeah, which I like heist movies. You'd be hard to remove some of the on its own, because there's a bit of callbacks to some of the other Ocean's ones. Like they mention at least Danny Ocean. They don't really mention anybody else, but
truthfully, all the other Oceans are they're very forgettable for me.
Yeah, I agree. It's usually
the first one is the only one I really remember.
Yeah, and
I've seen them all, but
I mean, there's three,
and I know. Oh gosh, can't remember what the gal's name is that's in it. Redhead, pretty woman.
Yes, Julia Roberts.
Julia Roberts. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So pretty decent. Would recommend it, huh?
Yeah, I liked it.
We're watching The Good Place right now.
I love that show.
Well, you know, I watched it about this. The first season I watched about this time last year when I had strep throat, and I watched the entire season while I was delirious. And I got my wife hooked on it, and we've been watching it, and she loves it. And I got through the whole first season last year, and I kind of thought it's clever. It's a very clever take on the afterlife. It's just a kind of a novel idea on it. But at the end of season 1, I was like, okay, well, where are they going to go with this in season 2? And we're probably about 4 or 5 episodes into season 2, and they've done a really good job of reinventing it. So if you haven't taken a look at it, if you don't know much about it, it's worth a look. It's pretty funny. Yeah,
it's the funniest. What is his bucket? The main guy.
Ted Danson?
Yes, Ted Danson has been in.
He does a great job.
He is so good.
He's so good. He does so good. Yeah. But, you know, have you seen the whole season?
Yes.
Season 2?
Yeah.
Okay, so you know. Okay.
Yes, right. I know where you're headed.
I don't know how far you. I'm like I said, I'm only about 3 or 4 episodes into season 2, but it has done thus far a good job of reinventing itself in the early part of the season. So definitely worth a look if people are looking for a new series to binge watch on Netflix.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, should we wrap this up?
Go for it, man.
Alrighty then. You got to read this disclaimer that you love to hear me read so much.
Well, I just like it when you pull out your weird radio voice.
I need to work on my radio voice. Here we go. This podcast is for educational purposes only. I know. It's not designed to diagnose or treat. When beginning any exercise program, it should be reviewed and discussed with your medical professional prior to beginning. Information on this podcast is not designed to replace medical treatment. Remember, treat yourself.
Peace.